YouTube, what's up with it? Today, I'm gonna show you guys my Steam Deck, and I'm pretty satisfied with it. I have it to a state where I'm ready to review it, and I'm ready to show you guys what I've done to it. I'm gonna show you guys how to undervolt and overclock it. I'm gonna refer to the work of another person on YouTube. They have a really good tutorial, and I'm going to post a link to that video in the description below, along with the links to the resources you'll need to not only undervolt and overclock your Steam Deck, but also to increase the refresh rate from 60 to 70 hertz. So let's get started. I'm going to show you guys what you guys need. So you're gonna need a USB-C to just a standard USB adapter, right? So you're gonna female to male, and then you're gonna need a hub or a splitter, because you're gonna need to connect both a thumb drive that's formatted in FAT32, and you're gonna need to be able to connect a keyboard. So I have everything I need. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna completely power down. Oh, before I get started, you might want to look at the resources I include in the video description, because in there you'll find a way to back up your BIOS or your BIOS, because you can potentially brick your Steam Deck, especially if you get too aggressive, or you lost the silicon lottery. I only took advantage I only took the plunge because I have a backup Steam Deck. And long story short, I applied liquid metal to my first Steam Deck. It wasn't the liquid metal that fried it, but it was the conformal coating. The conformal coating didn't completely dry. Basically, conformal coating is like a clear fingernail polish. I use that to basically coat all of the circuits around the APU die, and that didn't completely dry, and I thought the Steam Deck was dead, so I ordered a second Steam Deck. And after about a week, my hypothesis was, well, it might not even be the liquid metal, because I took it all apart. And I switched back to conventional thermal paste, and my hypothesis at that point was maybe it was a conformal coating. And sure enough, after about a week of it completely drying, that other Steam Deck is completely fine. So I have a backup Steam Deck to fall back on. So that's one reason why I risked doing this, but the gains are real. The gains, you don't gain very much with overclocking. My experience has been marginal gains with overclocking, and it comes with some problems too. Like I initially didn't undervolt, and I just overclocked the GPU to 1800 megahertz from 16, and overclocked the CPU from 3.5 to 3.8 gigahertz. And that running it in a bunch of different titles, like one of them Sekiro, which is notoriously demanding, both on the CPU and GPU side, but more so on the CPU side, even if you run Proton compatibility layer, the experimental Proton, which I recommend doing. And there's another thing too that you can do for performance. It's called, I think it's... I'm going to have to look it up. It's Cortec or no, not Cortec. Cryo Performance, CryoBytes. There's a way to optimize your Steam Deck, and you can also increase the. I'm going all over the place. You can increase the VRAM to 4 gigabytes from the standard 1 gigabytes, and in conjunction with, I think it's CryoBytes, that helps a little bit with the performance, but my experience with the overclocking and not undervolting has been that the gains are marginal. Like in Sekiro, in a particularly demanding scene, my FPS went from 49 to 52. So you got like a gain of 3 FPS, so maybe 5-6%. But my temperatures went up by 10 degrees Celsius. And the only reason why I can get away with it is because I have a cooling solution, which I'm also going to show you. Oh man! But so the gains are marginal, 5% gain. It reminds me of NVIDIA's Lovelace and Ampere architectures, where like that last 5% requires an additional 50% power draw, and that was the case actually, because that it seems like the engineers at Valve really dialed this thing in, this APU in, and there's not much more to extract from this APU, because once you go over 1600 just from 1600 to 1800 megahertz. Oh, but I did increase the TDP. I increased the TDP from 15 to 20 watts, but it was sucking down 20 watts. So it was like 5% gain, but my average combined power usage on both the CPU and the GPU went from like 7 and 5 to like 10, 11, 12 on the GPU, and frickin' like 9 on the, so it went up quite a bit. It went up, I want to say 50%, nearly 50% increase in power draw, and my temps went up by 10 degrees Celsius, all for a 5% gain in performance. Again, and it wasn't just Sekiro, it was a bunch of other titles where my average FPS only went up by like 5%. So I went in the other direction, and I dropped the clocks back to stock, and I undervolted 40 in the GPU, 30 on the CPU, and 20 on the SoC. And I didn't want to push the SoC much more than 20 because from what I've gathered, there's a lot of people that have bricked their Steam Deck doing this. So I'm telling you right now, I bear no responsibility. If you break your Steam Deck, I'm sorry, you didn't back up your BIOS. There's a thread right now, a relevant thread on the Steam Deck subreddit where they show you how to recover your Steam Deck. Unfortunately, unlike a conventional PC where you have like you can just remove the CMOS button and clear the memory, you can't do that with the Steam Deck. So you're gonna need like an EEPROM programmer. And you have to connect it with like a fucking alligator clip to it. And there's a whole like tutorial. There's like they show you how to do it, but it's way above. Like we're talking about like you better know what you're doing. Anyhow, let me show you how to do this real quick, and I'm gonna show you the performance. But I went the other direction. I undervolted, and what I actually saw was a 2.5% increase in performance while reducing my temperatures by 3 degrees Celsius. So undervolting is definitely the way to go with this. So what you're going to do is you're going to connect you're going to need a splitter, or I'm just using this USB hub that I had sitting around, and you're going to need to connect your external keyboard, your thumb drive with the files, and you're going to need to power down your Steam Deck and then power it back on. Holding down the power and the volume minus button to get into the boot menu, and then try to boot from the flash drive. So here's what we're gonna do. Hopefully, yeah, I'm using my DJI Pocket because it's got a little tripod on it. It's a little bit better than a phone in this regard. So you're gonna hold down, and this is always fun. This I always fight with this. This takes a few tries at first for some reason. But you hold down, you have to press power. You're going to press power and volume down. Sorry, power and volume down at the same exact time, right? And then as soon as you hear the noise, you're going to hear doodle-doodle-it. As soon as you hear doodle-doodle-it, you basically release the power button, and you continue to hold down the volume down button. So we're ready? Let's go. So you release power. And if all goes well, you should be in the, there we go. Here we are. So now we're in the boot. Now you're going to select your flash drive, and you're going to press the A button. You're going to press the A button here. Ready? Now it's going to orient the screen 90 degrees. So you're going to have to, and then when you get your keyboard connected, let's see, is it connected? It is, but it's not running. Hold on, I gotta find my keyboard for a second. Oh, it's looking for USB. No, not USB, buddy. Go to, there we go, try that. No, there we go. Okay, got my keyboard working. So now here you're gonna go to, I believe it's the second device manager. Can you see that? Second device manager. And then from there you're gonna go to AMD CBS. And then you're going to go down to SMU debug options. So all the way down. And then you're going to go to SMU feature config limits. And then you're going to go down to SV13 voltage control. And this is where you set it from auto to manual. So I have mine set to manual. And as you can see, you're going to want to run a negative offset. And then this here, this first one here, this is your SOC, voltage offset. Oh shit. I just noticed that I had this on auto. Whoa. You know what? It's a good thing that I came in here. So this is going to be a negative as well, I believe. So negative. I hope I don't brick my Steam Deck because I thought this was on negative. I'm going to double check with the tutorial that I'm using. So this is a good thing that I actually made this video because I guess these two were on auto and they may not have even been undervolting at all. Whoa. Okay. So I believe you're going to go negative. So you're going to go negative VDDCR underscore VDD voltage offset sign. That I believe is your CPU, right? And then this is the SOC. And you're going to want to go negative offset, right? Hold on. I'm going to refer to the tutorial on my computer real quick to double check that those aren't on auto. Okay. Yeah, those. Oh, yeah, it's supposed to be negative. Okay. Wow, it's a good thing I made this video. I don't think I was even undervolted, and I was still getting good temps. I hope I don't brick it, because I guess it was just on auto. So that the bad thing about being on auto is that could have been a positive offset, so I could have been overvolting. Okay, so that's all done. And if you want to increase, you want to overclock, you're going to go here. I think it's force clock frequency, or it's clock max override auto, and I think it's this. No, here it is. This is it. Graphics. Yeah, this clock max override, this here. So this is the CPU, as you can tell. So CCLK max override control. It's further down in the same menu. I guess previously I had it to 3700 megahertz. You're going to do this. If you want to overclock, I do not want to overclock. I'm going to keep it at auto because I'm undervolting. And then if you want to do graphics, you do this. And previously I had it set to 1800. You can see there. And that's for the GPU. I'm going to keep it at auto. And I'm going to show you guys how to to increase the TDP. And you back out of here, escape, and I think it's SMU features. And I think it is, shit, I thought it was SM. No, it actually might not even be here. You got to be careful. You got to be careful what you're doing here. It may be SMU common options. Yeah, SMU common options. So you back out, go up one, SMU common options, and this here, it's going to be TDP 3500, that's just a max limit. And then PPT control is where you're going to have your fast PPT and your slow PPT. And then when you use this in conjunction with Power Tools, which is a plugin, it's the Decky loader plugin. It's even more complex. I'll leave a link to that too. So I guess I did have my TDP set to 2200 at one point. I didn't even want to mess with this because oh, that's the other caveat. The other caveat I was going to explain. The other caveat I was going to explain is that if any of you Steam Deck owners out there, you know what I'm talking about. You press the power button, you don't hold it down, you just press it, and it basically it suspends. So you can be in the middle of a game and you can suspend your play state. So the problem when you overclock or you change the TDP or you change the frequencies of the APU is that the suspend state basically reverts everything to factory clocks, and Power Tools just ignores any settings. And so the only way to resume overclocking or resume your overclock settings is you have to completely restart the Steam Deck. And I got annoyed with that, so I just said, fuck it, I'm just gonna undervolt. But actually, you know what? I'm actually curious to see. I'm actually gonna try just increasing the. I'm gonna increase this. I'm gonna increase this to 17. We're gonna go 17. So I'm going to go 1700, 17,000, I should say, and on both the slow and the fast, because I'm going to see if that helps alleviate, because you're really power limited with the CPU, but again, there's not much to be had via overclocking. So I'm actually gonna increase the TDP to 17 watts. That's basically 17 watts. 20 is too much. Now, when you're all done, I think, let me double check. When you're all done with this, you're going to back out and you're going to, hold on. Let's see. You're going to back, one moment. I'm referring to the guide online. It's just basically another YouTube video. You're going to back out. So I think you just press escape. You back out via escape. Oh, and then you click continue in the main menu. So let's back out. Okay. After everything's done, go back via escape, and then on a keyboard, click yes to, yeah. So we're going to back out, escape. So here, this is an important one. So you hit escape at this main menu here. Save changes and exit. Yes. We're going to say save changes and exit. Should I try for 1700 megahertz on the no, I'm not going to do it. Because yeah. Yes. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we don't brick it. Y. And then you back up once again and you click on continue. In main menu, okay, so let me see. Did I go down to boot maintenance? Wait, hold on. Shit. Yeah, so now you go down to continue. So fingers crossed, everyone. Continue. Press enter to reset. Hopefully I didn't just brick my Steam Deck. It takes a moment. It may have just powered down, and you might have to power back up. Oh no, there we go. It powers up on its own. So, we are officially undervolted, and we've increased the TDP. So now, if you use, you get on here to plugins, you're going to need the Decky loader. I will provide a link to how to do this too. You're gonna, in conjunction with Power Tools, which you're going to need. If you guys are running Jsaux to play Super Mario Odyssey, if you disable SMT, it provides a huge performance increase. But down here in it should show you the power play limits. So you can override APU TDP settings. And you can set this to 17 watts, right? 17 watts. That's what that means. Slow PPT, fast PPT. And I'm also going to increase governor to power to performance. Okay, and hopefully that will be a universal setting. Now, except, well, it's cool because like if I play Super Mario Odyssey, I can disable SMT, and then I can also have that save Decky or Power Tools will load that particular profile when that game launches, which is nice. Now I'm going to show you guys the performance. First of all, I'm going to show you what I've done to address the cooling. So what I've done here is I have the Jsaux, Jsaux or Jsaux. I'm going to unplug this. Jsaux or Jsaux backplate with, and I actually wasn't expecting these raised buttons to be this nice, but they are very nice. I love these raised buttons. I can't remember exactly which ones they are, but they're raised like this, and I just find them to be much more ergonomic. It's like a transparent kind of smoked appearance. It's really nice, and it doesn't come with this copper heatsink. I will provide a link to Amazon. It's for this particular heatsink. And also the thermal glue that you're going to need to keep it in place. Initially, I tried to keep this on here with just thermal tape, and the thermal tape melted like after about a day and a half, and it was just a gooey mess. I had to clean it all up, and then I researched thermal glue, and the thermal glue is holding up very nicely. Thermal glue is holding up, and it really conveys that heat to this heatsink. And this, in conjunction with Jsaux's external fan, I'm going to fire up Sekiro. So this is their external fan, right? Very nice. And it just fits on here like this. So you can see here, part of the Jsaux fan, you just basically affix to your Steam Deck, and then it just clips right in. It's very nice. Boom. And I'm going to put it over here to show you guys the temperatures. We're going to fire up Sekiro. Oh, and I'm also going to show you guys 70 hertz. Okay, so let's see. Let's get this going down. Turn on the fan. Oh, I should probably just limit the power to 15 watts. But let's see. Oh, first of all, let's go take a look at ambient. Okay, so you don't think that I have a spectacular ambient. So right now it's about room temperature. I don't know if you can see that. 71 degrees. Okay, it's about room temperature. And let me get this out of the way. Get the keyboard out of the way. Okay, so we're gonna fire up first I'm gonna show you it running Sekiro. And I have the fan on low. Right now it's on low. That's it on high. The fan is on the lowest setting possible. Okay? And I'm also, in conjunction with the Jsaux fan, I am also running another plugin called, it's called, what is it called? Hold on. It is called, the other one I'm running is, it's called Fantastic. I'm running Fantastic. And I'm not using the updated fan profile, because the updated fan profile quiets the fan and a lot of people are seeing higher temperatures. I'm also using Vibrant Deck, and oh, I thought I had saturation. Oh shit! I thought in-game profile. I didn't know this. I thought I had saturation to 105 universally. I didn't know this. Good thing I'm making this review. I'm learning a lot about the settings that I didn't even have set correctly. So, okay. Let's go over here. I'm going to show you guys temps. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll just leave it like that so you can see the clocks as well. So it's the system's called right. There's not much load here. I've locked it at 49 FPS because I find that this game is so demanding that it won't hold 55, 60 FPS. And one thing I've learned with the Steam Deck is that you want to lock the refresh rate to the lowest FPS that you typically see, because you want to, otherwise you'll experience stuttering. So I have it at 49 FPS, because that's pretty much like what, and so this really isn't a demanding scene, to be honest. 3.2 on the GPU, 1.5 on the CPU. It's not very demanding. So what I'm going to do is, I think I might load in I'm not gonna load an earlier save. I'm at the point in I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't played this game, but I'm at the point where I just snuck past the massive carp near the end of the game. Let me show you the settings. So settings here are a mix of medium and high. I find that the shadow quality really just pounds everything. So I try to get away with high where I can. But I'm gonna go actually and show you guys. Geez, I think I might actually travel. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna travel. I'm gonna travel to a more demanding part of the game to show you the performance. Because without travel, let's see. We're gonna go. Where are we? We're in Fountainhead Palace. Okay, come on. I want to go to this part here. Oh, near Pot Noble. I'll go over here to Great Sakura. So, still not very demanding, is it? I want to see what the Power Tools. I want to see what the Governor Performance. Oh, I have slow PPT set to 18, so it should be at 17. Oh, this fucking tripod is so annoying. Hold on one moment. I gotta fight with this. Wow. DJI really flopped with this. They give you a rinky-dinky tripod, barely works. So I'm not power limited. But as you can see, this isn't very demanding because I'm only at yeah, 4 watts in the GPU and 3 watts in the CPU. I really just wanted to show you guys. I wanted to get a load on here, but it's not doing it. Actually, I know where it'll induce a load. It'll induce a load in the water. So we'll go down here. Yeah, it'll induce a load here. Let's see. Let's have a look over here at the telemetry. Yeah, there you go. And now the clocks are getting higher on the GPU side, right? But you can see it's relatively flat. Like there's not a lot of dips. Like it's holding 49 FPS, and this is somewhat demanding. Going underwater here at Fountainhead Palace, it's a little bit more demanding than being above the water. Yeah. But what I'm going to show you, so this is it. The temps are like this. Now, it's warmed up. It's been about 5-10 minutes of gameplay. There we go. Now we have 8 watts. I'm going to hold it there. Got 7-8 watts on the GPU, 1560 megahertz, 1400 megahertz, and the CPU is around 3.2, 3.3 gigahertz. And you can see that's sufficient power usage to start to induce some thermal restraint, or, to eat into that thermal overhead. But as you can see here, the fan is only spinning at 4100 RPM. The Steam Deck fan. And what's nice about this guy, the Jsaux fan, is that it's almost like a push-pull setup. So it really assists the built-in fan. But as you can see with the thermals here, 60 degrees. It'll get up to 65. I'm gonna let it sit here for a moment. I'm gonna talk a little bit more about the performance. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fire up Devil May Cry and show you how 70 hertz looks. But as you can see with the performance here, that's pretty good. 60 watts. 60 degrees. 65 degrees. It's not loud. It's not deafening. Again, I have this Jsaux fan on the lowest setting. Okay, I got the Jsaux fan on the lowest setting. I'm seeing 8.5 there, 8.5 in the GPU, nearly 9 watts in the GPU. It's just, it barely wants to break 60 degrees Celsius. These are fantastic temperatures. These are phenomenal temperatures. And like that, I'm feeling the copper heatsink in the back, and it's starting to warm up. Once that thing gets fully saturated with heat, that because it's only being passively cooled. There's no fan on it, so it's only being passively cooled. Once that thing heats up, then my temperatures will go up by like about 5 degrees. So the most I've ever seen is like 65 degrees. Now that's really good because right now I encourage all of you, if you have a Steam Deck, you know what I'm talking about. This thing runs like 80 degrees, 85 degrees. In fact, I was just watching a Sekiro Steam Deck gameplay video before making this, or before getting the motivation to make this, to show you guys what I've done to help mitigate the temperatures on the Steam Deck. And this footage, this Steam Deck, he was running the same game, he's running Sekiro, and that Steam Deck was at 85 degrees on the GPU, and it was nearly 90 degrees on the CPU. So, I mean, this is easily 20 degree reduction in temperatures. And all I've added was a Jsaux fan and that copper heatsink in conjunction with a Jsaux backplate. And I got the fan on the lowest setting. That's all I've done. There's no liquid metal. There's nothing else. And what I like about this setup is that this heatsink is low enough where I can just remove the Jsaux fan, and it'll sit flush on the desk. So you can lay the Steam Deck down flat, which is really nice. It's been a few minutes. I'm right there, 61 degrees, 62 degrees. It's nearly 9 watts on the GPU. 4 watts on the CPU. So that undervolt was a pretty good undervolt, I'd have to say. I'm glad I made this video. I'm glad I had the motivation to make this video, because I thought I was undervolted, and I guess I wasn't actually undervolted, even though I could have sworn I set the offsets to negative. I guess I did not. So hey, I benefited from making this video to share with everyone, to show you guys how to do this. So I think that's going to be it for this game. Let's back out of here, okay? And I'm going to show you Devil May Cry running at 70 hertz. Where is it? I go in here. Okay. Set this. I'm going to override. I'm going to set to 17 and 17 and I don't know if you can see what I'm doing in there. I guess those settings that I said earlier were not universal, because here it's the Devil May Cry profile, and governor was set to schedule utility, and power play limits were not overridden. Is it starting? Okay. I don't, for whatever reason, it wants to process the Vulkan shaders, and some games, like, you'll sit there and it'll be like 10 minutes of processing Vulkan shaders. It's super, super, super duper annoying. Now you can see right there, boom. What's it say? 70 FPS. Because I commented on below someone's video. So someone else had a video of their Steam Deck, and they said, yeah, 60 FPS is the limit. I said, no, you can actually unlock it and run 70 FPS. So I'm going to show you right here. And it is smoother, dude. When I go from Sekiro at 50 FPS to this game at 70, it's like night and day difference. It's like, oh my God, good Lord. Where have you been all my life? 70 FPS. But 50 is like the lowest I can go. So if this is going to be a pseudo review, I love this thing. I love the fact that I can go and sit in bed and play in bed. Look at that, 70 hertz intro screen. Holding it. And this intro screen is actually fairly demanding, believe it or not. Well, it dipped down to 55 there, to be fair. The intro screen is somewhat demanding. So I don't know if it's because I'm like in a well a relatively low demanding area of the game in particular, but I'm able to run 70 FPS in these tunnels here, and it looks pretty good. It looks pretty darn good. Actually, I want to go and make sure that the vibrant, what is it called? The stupid vibrant deck is, okay. Oh, saturation 110. No, not that high, I don't think. Let's take it to 105. I don't know, why is it doing 110? Okay. There we go. It's at 70 hertz. You can see on there. You can see 70, right? Okay, just so you guys don't think I'm, hallucinating. No, you can actually unlock the Steam Deck, and it is way smoother. So the camera is limited to 60 hertz, so you're not going to be able to see the difference on the YouTube video. But trust me, this is smoother than 60. That 10 hertz difference makes a big difference. It almost feels as good as G-Sync at 120 hertz. I swear to God, it's like when you experience 70 hertz on the Steam Deck for the first time, you're not going to want to go back to 60. Unfortunately, this game is incredibly well optimized, and this is one of the few titles that can actually do this. Like, I have this, and then I have Hot Wheels. I have Hot Wheels that I can run. And I'm just in this tunnel section here, and you can tell it's not that demanding in the GPU. Like, you see the frequency of the GPU is only like 10, 1100 megahertz, so it's not that. This is a relatively like low demanding area. I'm gonna show you the settings I have too. One moment. Let me get the UI out of the way. Okay, so settings I have are PC options. Interesting, PC options, right? Graphics. Those are my settings I'm running right now. Pay no attention to that. It's running at 70 because when you disable VSync, okay, it doesn't pay any attention to the refresh rate. So because the Steam Deck has a built-in VSync. So this is I guess a tip for all you guys. I don't know if you know that, but like you don't need to have Steam VSync enabled in the game. The Steam Deck, you'll never experience any tearing. In fact, they recently implemented an option to disable the VSync and experience tearing. I guess it's for latency or something, or to reduce latency. So these are my settings: texture quality high, texture filtering quality high, mesh quality high, and then what I found to be, in my personal experience, the most offending settings in terms of demand are effects, shader, and I believe the volumetric lighting. Oh, I turned that back up to high. Weird. I could have sworn his volumetric lighting was also offending. Or no, that's Resident Evil. Resident Evil 2 Remake, the volumetric lighting just really has a high performance penalty. Not so much in this game. Yeah, that's it. So it's a mixture of medium and high and 1280 by 720, and it's running this at 70 hertz. Basically, at least in here. I just so happened to load my game in here, and I've been a little bit forward. I've been like maybe like another 10 minutes of gameplay forward, and I've yet to see it dip down. In fact, you can see there's actually overhead, as I showed you. Like we're not even maxing out the GPU there. I think I'm going to back out of here. I'm going to show you one more thing. I'm going to show you. Oh, didn't want to do that. Okay. You know what I hate? I hate. I don't know, for those of you that play this game, I hate when you pick up this game after not playing in a while and you forget that like the LB, the top left shoulder button, like destroys one of your arms here. Destroys like your what is it called? What are these called? He's got these arms that are like have different abilities, and one of the buttons destroys the arm. It's called breakaway, and I always learned that the hard way after like putting this game down for a while. I'm going to back out of here, and I'm going to fire up. Oh, wait. Did we see the temperatures? Yeah, let's have a look at these temps. Here. Look at these temperatures. What do you think about those temperatures? Let me know if that's acceptable. For 70 hertz, Devil May Cry, a mixture of medium and high settings. Granted, you only have like 3 or 4 watts in the GPU and 1 watt in the CPU, so yeah. But look at that. It's not even 50 degrees. This is like AI. This is like PC AIO temperature territory right here, or even water cooling. That's pretty good. Let's back out of here. That's why I wanted to show you Securo first, because it seems like Securo is particularly demanding. And next, I'm going to show you. We're going to go down here to. Let's see. I think is it under favorites or it's collections, and I think it's emulation. Actually, no. It should just be under. Okay, fuck it. We're going to go over here. Collections. I know how to get there this way. Emulation. And it's going to be under Jsaux. Okay. Jsaux. Play. And this one here, I'm going to need to actually limit. And this one I have not limited yet. So this one here. This one with Mario Odyssey, you're going to want to limit this to 50, trust me. And I think I had limited to 50. And I think that might have been it. Okay. Let's try that. Okay. One moment. I got to fight with the UI. Okay. And we're going to fire up Super Mario Odyssey. Oh, I need to disable SMT. Actually, I'm going to show you guys what it looks like when you don't disable SMT, the performance difference. I think I'm in New York. I haven't played this game in a week or so. This is a good game. I just really enjoy this. Oh, I was trying to say earlier. There we go. Yeah. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. Okay. What happened? Oh. 50 FPS. It's holding the intro to New York. I can fast travel too and show you some more demanding areas. So, right off the bat, it's not looking good. We're at 33, 31 FPS, right? Let me show you what's going on here. We are at 40. Oh, now it's picked up a little bit. 47, right? And next to no GPU usage. But as you can see, when that green frame time counter line has a lot of undulations there, that's stutter. That's experiencing the game as stutter. So you want to... Now let's... Yeah, it's bouncing all over the place. 40, 45, 50. Now let's go in here and let's disable SMT with Power Tools. Okay. And let's see. And I'm going to make sure I have this set for persistent profile for the game. So I don't have to do this next time. Now, what you'll see is it's running smoother. Now it's 50 solid. Whereas before it was 40, 45, 50, 45, 50, 45, 50, right? So you limit it to 3 threads, or 4 threads, I should say. You're basically, SMT is, what is it called? It's simulated multi-threading or some crap. It's basically AMD's equivalent of hyper-threading, right? Or virtual cores. And emulators, they don't, it doesn't work very well. I'm thinking about fast traveling somewhere else to show you, but it's basically 50 FPS everywhere. Now I can try to increase it to 60. The problem is that it's the same story as with Securo. If it will dip down, and when it dips down, it stutters. So I just prefer to play this game at 50 FPS. I don't feel like traveling because it's a little animation sequence. It's annoying. It's not annoying. It's just time consuming. But yeah, temperatures, 50 degrees. Right. So easily 20 Celsius reduction in temperatures. Absolutely phenomenal. But I'm gonna go ahead and power this down. Give you guys my final thoughts. Yeah. Here we go. Here once more. That's basically, and it's, again, it's low profile enough that if you remove the fan, which just pops on and off, this can sit flat on a desk, which is really nice. Yeah, so Steam Deck, why I like it. Why I like it is because as a veteran, I have like body issues, right? So I got hip pain, lower back pain, knee pain that comes and goes. And lately I've been having some really weird lower back pain. It's almost like reminiscent of sciatica, which I also suffer from. But I can't sit in this chair. It's like my back hurts right now making this video. So I can just, with the Steam Deck, I can just lay in bed. And it's really nice if you're suffering from some kind of injury, or if you just want to play from bed. And in my bedroom, I don't have like a large OLED TV with like a PlayStation 5 or anything. So this is it for me. I just basically get in bed, and it's really nice, really comfortable. And so I've actually been opting for this experience over. And if you see my PC, you're gonna be like, "You're nuts! Why are you using a Steam Deck?" But I'm telling you, because I got back pain right now. But if my back doesn't hurt, this is the experience right here. It's basically Samsung Odyssey G9 Neo on a Ergotron arm. This is the experience. Oh my God, the HDR in this thing looks amazing. And behind this, right, I have a 4090 underwater block with a 12900K. Of course, overclocked. Everything's overclocked. Running the 12900K at 5.1 gigahertz. The E cores are disabled, and right now, as you can see, they're 370 watts. I'm basically mining Kapow on NiceHash at around $1.25, $1.30 a day, basically just to warm the apartment up. But the temperatures are phenomenal. But I'm tempted to fire up Sekiro and show you how good Sekiro looks on this monitor. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to close out the mining, because the gaming on this thing is just something else. So Steam Deck is amazing if you want to play from bed, but this is really the way to go. So here I'm basically mining, as you can see. I'm actually making $1.42 a day. I don't know if you can see that. $1.42, right? just to heat my apartment, 400 watts or so. And I'm not even using a CPU, because the CPU is inducing a bottleneck. And those are the temps there, 45 degrees. And that's about right. Water temperature there is lower right, 30 degrees Celsius water temperature. So that's a 15, 16 degree delta. And that's with the pumps at only 50% RPM. I'm going to close this out. Okay. And I'm going to fire up Sekiro to show you guys the difference between, yeah. So I have everything on hotkey. So I'm going to switch to my gaming profile. And with Sekiro, yeah. Let's go over here. So with this game, because I'm playing at this resolution, and because From Software refuses to support ultra-wide, I have to run this patcher. And it's really, so I got to fire up this patcher first. And it's just really annoying the way that you have to go about doing this. And then from here, I have to start the game, and then I have to switch to desktop, and then ensure that the game is patched, right? It's a convoluted process. So now I got to switch back. So Alt Enter, switch back. Okay, patch game. Game is patched. As you can see, I'm running 170 FPS. I'll show you in a second. Okay. Now, this is with HDR. HDR is enabled, right? HDR is enabled. It's ultra wide, so 32 by 9. And I'm running an undervolt on my GPU. So I'm just running at 2400 megahertz. And there you can see GPU 38 degrees. There you can see the FPS. Now this is completely maxed out at, actually, you know what? I'm gonna run at 2700 megahertz just to show you. There, 2700 megahertz. And it's only using 230 watts. GPU is at 39 degrees. Temp sensor there, so that's the water temperature, 29 degrees. And it's at 160 FPS. And this is the same area that I was just in. So it's Fountainhead Palace. And the fluidity, oh my God, you notice it immediately. You notice the fluidity immediately coming back from the Steam Deck. You notice that right away. But again, I have to sit in this chair, and sometimes my back doesn't like that too much. But, oh my God. The HDR, so this is, you're not going to be able to notice the HDR because it won't, you need an HDR display. But this HDR, this display is amazing. This fucking display is absolutely amazing. Every game that I've played just looks, oh my God, it's just amazing. I have nothing bad to say about this monitor other than the price tag. It's very, oh, and then the heat. This thing puts out some serious heat, and not just heat, but there's times where it's like literally so bright that my eyes just get tired looking at it. So, and that's another reason why I like the Steam Deck, because sometimes my eyes will become fatigued actually from if I look at this monitor too long, because it is, the contrast is so bright that I will find that the Steam Deck, I don't have the same problem, and I can go get in bed and just, you know, fire up the Steam Deck, especially if it's late in the evening, if I'm hankering for some gaming, and I don't have the eye fatigue. But yeah, my God, love this monitor. I just wanted to show you guys how this game runs, and you're not going to be able to appreciate the 170 FPS there, as this game is only going to upload to 60 FPS. But yeah, that's how the 4090 under a water block runs Sekiro completely maxed out at nearly 4K. It runs it at 170 FPS, no problem. I'm gonna shut this down. And I just hit Control Alt F4. That's how I get out of there. I can't stand their menu system. It just, it's so dumb. You want to close the game out, and the game forces you to go to the main menu system and navigate a clumsy UI for 30 seconds, and you just want to exit the game. So I just hit Control Alt F4. Yeah, that's probably gonna conclude my Steam Deck review and my, I don't know if I've given this monitor a proper review. It needs to be seen to be believed. It's basically it's basically local dimming. It's got, I think it has like, 2,000 or something, 2,000 local dimming zones. So it's basically a fault. It's a full array local dimming, and it doesn't suffer from the color degradation problem that the predecessor did when you enable HDR. HDR looks as good as SDR in terms of color. And that, I'm telling you, dude, headlights in racing games, the sun, like the first game that I ever played in HDR was on my first G9, wasn't the Neo, and I played Assassin's Creed Origins. And dude, when you first see HDR for the first time, wow. Like, because in that game, you got to come out of these Egyptian ruins, and you emerge into the daylight. And I remember seeing that, it was so vivid, so bright, and the contrast was just incredible. But yeah, that's it. I'm going to provide links for all the resources you're going to need to Undervolt. And I don't recommend overclocking. My experience has been a 5% gain 5%, but your temperatures are going to go up by 10 degrees. So as you can see here, I'm at 60, 65 degrees, full load. Now, if you go and look up videos of other Steam Decks running Sekiro, running the same game, you're going to see it's like 85 degrees. And that's just with a copper heatsink and that one little Jsaux cooler. That's it. Like a 20 degree reduction in temperatures. Yeah. So I think that's going to conclude this video. I'm going to provide a link to the overclocking thread and resources, and yeah, and also the yeah, I'm going to provide a link to everything below. I'm sorry, I'm having just a kind of like a brain freeze. This is another problem. Yeah. If you're a veteran, you know what I'm talking about. Like, it's part of it's just, you end up with this, like, I don't know. Anyhow, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching.